What's up? Brandon Lilly here. It's officially New Year's Eve in Kentucky, and I am partying by doing some of these questions for you guys. So we'll jump right into it. Ray Zingler asks thoughts on speed work after the main movement. For me, it is what it is. I prefer to just call it like bodybuilding type movements. I don't really necessarily think of anything as speed. I usually try to really contract the muscle and think about building the muscle rather than moving it as quickly as possible. I have a day designated for that. I don't think it would be a bad idea to try it. It's not something that I've done necessarily. I mean, the kingpin is kind of in that realm, where we do some of the variations on the percentages and things like that. But anything after the main movement is basically designated to being muscular work rather than a speed type work or just repetition work. Eric Downey asks, best lockout training tip? This is given to me by Bob Coe at Westside. Actually, lock out your weight. I see so many guys when they're benching, they just do those bodybuilding type reps, those short reps where they leave the last inch missed. How many guys do you see miss the last inch in competition? You can take your arm right now and bend it to about right there, almost locked. Put your finger here, and then extend it all the way out, and you'll feel that bottom tricep engage. Imagine if you engage that tricep head over and over and over, thousands of reps over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, how much difference that's going to make. So stop short locking your benches. That's the number one lockout tip I have for anybody, and it makes a difference. Trust me. Thomas Nichols, any variations on accessories or other forms of work that seem to help with the deadlift? I really seem to struggle on this movement. What I see most people doing on the deadlift when they're struggling is they use too much weight too often. The deadlift is a very precise movement. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of attention, but it can be given too much attention, I think, especially on the heavy range. That's why I go 2 weeks with, 1 week of rep work, 1 week of explosive work, and then a third week is heavy. Never ever maxing really, unless I go beltless or from a deficit or from a block. I never max from the floor until meet day. So too many guys get in the habit of just trying to stroke their ego and PR from the floor all the time. That's not necessarily good. Build the muscles that make the deadlift a whole, and you'll get a lot better for it. Weston Cobb, looking back over the last 5 years, would you change anything? Not really. There are things that if I sit down and I think about them, yeah, I'd change this or change that, but ultimately no, because every single day of my past has made me who I am today. And for the first time, probably in a long time, I can say that I'm completely comfortable in my own skin. That's inside the gym, outside the gym. And that comes through mistakes I've made, that comes through good times, bad times, and the people that I've met and the people that have moved on. So um, I really try not to dwell on the past a whole lot. I just try to live as much in the moment and look towards the future as I can, inside the gym and outside of it as well, because I can't change it. So why dwell on it? Sean Ray asked, how's my diet changed working with Meadows? It's simplified. Um, he makes it very, very easy. It's not going to be anything magical or, super tricks or anything like that. It's just straightforward. For breakfast, you might have eggs, oatmeals, and berries. Eggs, oatmeal, and berries. You might have eggs and avocado. The next meal was a shake with a piece of Ezekiel toast with some peanut butter. The next meal you might have chicken breast and rice, or you might have chicken breast and a salad. And that just repeats itself throughout the day. It's timed, based around your needs. He has a very precise intra workout that he prescribes, and everything is tailored to the individual. My diet wouldn't work for you, your diet wouldn't work for me, um, as it is on paper. There are things about the diet that would work and they would transfer, but he individualizes diet person to person. So, you know, it's really good. I mean, and go to mountaindogdiet.com. Even if you don't hire him to work with you one on one, for like $10 a month, you have access to his website with tons of information. You could really piece together a diet for yourself through there. I know a lot of people have done that with great success. So it's just applying the principles of what he preaches and what he talks about. I think it's worth every penny. Daniel Hollabaugh, deload, is it really needed? I haven't deloaded in about 4 years. So, yeah, I guess if you want to deload, then deload. James Hurst, single movement workouts with maybe one or two accessories at most on upper days. How could you make this work? Well, not to sound like an asshole, but do a single movement and do two hard accessories. Mike Mincer, the founder of the HIT method, or high intensity training, also popularized by Dorian Yates, he was all about this. You know, his book is one of the greatest training books that I've ever read. It's very thought intensive. It's thought provoking. If you want to look into something like that, he would be the guy to refer to. Mike Mincer, Ray Mincer, Dorian Yates. Look at their training. They did some really special stuff. I think Mike probably pushed the limit as far as the human body could go, as far as brevity of workouts. But he was something special, and I think he's an uncrowned Mr. Olympia in my book. Um, Ryan Welshmeyer, what do you most attribute your progress from high school years to being a giant, powerful monster? And how is it that everyone from Eastern Kentucky is so strong? Well, first and foremost, I never quit. You know, I was never the guy that was at the parties on the weekends or, um, you know, skipping workouts and things like that. I was always in the gym. My friends were doing cool shit. They were going to the lake. They were going to the dirt track races or this or that, but I was always the guy that was in the gym. And, you know, by the time I was out of the gym, I was usually too tired or, just lost interest in doing anything else. So while they were saying that I was crazy and I was, you know, kind of a loose cannon when it came to how dedicated I was to my training, it's paid off now. You know, I'm basically achieving things that I dreamed about when I started this. So, you know, you can't half-ass this. It just doesn't work. Carlos Moran, if I keep growing my facial hair, how much would that increase my total? Probably zero. Beards don't lift weight. Mike Koch, who do you think the best five powerlifters are alive today? I'm going to kind of go against the grain a little bit. I think you might have meant maybe the active lifters, but number one, I'm going to say Kazmaier. I'm going to say Larry Pacifico. Happy birthday, Bill Kazmaier, by the way. Larry Pacifico, Mike Bridges, Ed Cohen, and Steve Goggins. And that's just a controversial list because there are so many great guys that are still living. Captain Kirk, you've got Donnie Thompson, Dave Hoff. Those guys are fantastic. Maybe the best five powerlifters alive today or competing still. competing still. Gonna have to throw Hoff in there. I would say Dan Green, Andre Milanichev, Belyev, and God, I mean Eric Lillibridge. That's just a really solid five right off the top of the list. I mean, there's so many great lifters. KK's out there. You got Kirill Sarachev. He's unbelievable. Um, you know, Derek Kendall. What's he going to do in the next year? I mean, he's just come out of the woodwork and just blown everybody away with how strong he is. So, I mean, powerlifting's got a pretty exciting time right now. It's a special time for the raw guys. I mean, there's been a resurgence as far as that goes, but powerlifting as a whole is growing, and if the sport grows, we all benefit from it. So keep it going, stay positive, encourage each other. That's all we can do. And I skipped over the last part of Ryan Welshmeyer's question. How is it that everyone from Eastern Kentucky is so strong? Uh, I'm going to take a answer from Kokliev. Oh my God, how did I forget? Kokliev is one of the greatest lifters alive. He's my favorite lifter, but I think he would define himself more as a weightlifter first than he is a power lifter. So, excuse me for that oversight. But I think Eastern Kentucky people, West Virginians, we have a blue collar work ethic. It's just something that I was always brought up around was hard work, believing in something, sticking to it, not really taking shortcuts, and maybe that has something to do with it. That's what Kokliev said. He was like, sports are a release for Russians because every day-to-day life you face death, and within the sport you have victory. You have a chance to get away from that, so you try so hard. And I think in a lot of small towns in Kentucky, West Virginia, not necessarily in powerlifting, but as a basketball player or a football player, a small town hero. You can be a legend in a small town just by being an athlete. So I think it starts there. I think you tie that in with the blue collar work ethic, you're going to get some pretty special talent. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.